Sure, good morning, my friends. Thank you for time given to me. So now I wanna present my proposal with the title "The Effectiveness of Using Role Play Strategy to Improving Student Speaking Skills." So the first background of study. Speaking is the ability to say words in order to convey or express intentions and feelings that are arranged and developed according to the needs of the listener, so that what is conveyed can be understood by the listeners. According to Cahyono and Inda, speaking is one of the four language skills which are interpreted as an expression of idea, opinion, or message with oral language. While according to Ricard and Renandia, state that speaking is one of the elements of communication. Based on the statement above, speaking is the way to communicate that use a list of words to transfer the purpose of speaking. The fluency in speaking is one of things that is very important for every student to be understood by the other person. Therefore, the research will explain about the talking using role play. Role play is one method that can use to improve student speaking skill. Role play is a language learning technique that asks students to play certain role in given situation using the target language, especially English. Language skills that can be developed through role play are speaking, especially interpersonal and transactional dialogues. Role play is one of techniques develop students' fluency in the language, which promotes interaction within class and that increase motivation. Role play is also not only encourage students learn alongside their peers, but also improve togetherness of teacher and responsible for the process study. Role play is perhaps the most flexible of the technique, and teachers who immediately adopt role play can meet the needs and limited need with effective and role play. Players are asked to perform certain roles and present or role plays and carry out certain dialogues that emphasize the character, traits, or attitude that need to be analyzed. And the next, according to Tompkins, tell role playing or simulation is an extremely valuable method for learning second language. It encourages thinking and creativity that students develop and practice new language and behavioral skills in relatively non-threatening setting and can create the motivation and involvement necessary for learning to occur. While according to Blatner, sees role-play as a methodology derived from sociodrama that may be used to help students understand and more subtle aspects of literature, social studies, and even some aspect of science or mathematics. And the next previous study, there are some previous studies that have similarity with this research. The first research by Diane Faki used to the classroom action research method. The researcher conducted three cycles of 4-3 meetings. Each cycle consists of four sides, namely plan, action, observation, and reflection. Participants in the study were 8A grade students, junior high school, one Sleman, consisting of 32 students and English teacher in the class. There are four research instruments, namely a checklist of observation, interview, questionnaire, and observation notes. First, the research explain about the role play and the rules of role playing. Second, the research explain about the students and they must make a script according with what have been given to them. And the third, research explore to help students if they have problem relate to the script to play their roles. Then the research call on students to display their role playing. And finally, research take value from their performance. And the next research question. The first is there the effectiveness of using role play strategy in improving student speaking skill. And the last, what are the positive impact of the effectiveness using role play strategy in improving students' speaking skill. And the next research aim. The aim of the research is want to know the effectiveness of using role play strategy to improving speaking skill. And we move to the research significance. This research hope is to find out the effectiveness of using role-play strategy in improving student speaking skill. Through the role-play strategy can help students motivate for increase or improving student speaking skill and help provide material about the develop naturally in speaking and to help students more active in teaching and learning process. And the next scope of the study. In the study, the research focused on the whether using the role play strategy can improving students' speaking skill. And the next, the definition of key terms. The first, speaking. Speaking is one of the abilities to communicate with other people through the medium of language. Speaking is a form speech aid in the form of sound produced by the vocal organs, accompanied by body movements and facial expression. And the next, strategy. Strategy is a tactic or plan that is developed to achieve goals and objectives that have been previously determined by a group of people. And the last, role play. Role play is a learning method that involves students directly to act or of story in real life. Role-playing affects students' speaking ability and learning motivation. Role-playing has a specific purpose when carried out by students, namely to improve speaking skill. And the next is a hypothesis. The first hypothesis: there is no increase in student speaking skill from the use of role-play strategy, and the next strategy, role-play can improve student speaking skill. And the next, the definition of speaking. Speaking is one of the most important language skill method. Speaking is a person's ability to express either thoughts that exist within oneself that involve others in convey this information using words. Talking about the means to communicate ideas that are complete and developed according to the needs of listeners. There are also those speaking is interpreting the ability to pronounce articulatory sounds or words for express, state, and convey those ideas and feelings. And the next, basic concept of speaking. In speaking, there are some basic concepts that include 9 of 10. Speaking and listening are individual process convey. In this case, speaking and listening are two different activities but complementary. These activities can be combined into verbal communication, such as in conversation, discussing, telephone, and etc. Speaking is an individual process communicating, such that it is known that one way to communicate besides writing is by speak, talking about creative expressions. Through human speech can express what your mind and feelings. The thing that expression can be something creative. Talking is a vet request. Talking is the speaker expression, so by talking about the same thing the speaker shows his character or behavior, talking is learning behavior. And the next, speaking purpose. Every speaking activity, of course, someone has some goals such as want to express idea or thoughts, want to acknowledge, want to entertain, and so on. By mastering skill, speaking is aspect. Someone can express good idea or thought in public or not in good way, so that the other person can get clearly what the speaker means and does not evoke misunderstanding. Then also the purpose of speaking skill in lesson is to train students to say words orally politely, well and correctly, and can convey those effectively in official forms to the fullest self-confidence. When connected with students, it means the goal speaking is so that the students have the skill to interact between individual one with other individuals through language and can exchange opinions, idea, feeling, desire with the help of which are called words. And the next definition of roleplay. The roleplay method is a way of mastering learning material through the development of student imagination and appreciation. The development of imagination and appreciation is carried out by students with play it as a living character or inanimate object. The game is one generally done by more than one person. It depends on both play. Role playing is a teaching method that is used by playing certain social roles with the aim of provide reflection so that students can more easily understand the material lesson and can directly connect the material with everyday life. And the next purpose of role play. The purpose of using role play method is as follow. First, for student motivation. Second one, to attract student interest and attention. The next, provide opportunities for students to explore situations where they experience emotions, difference of opinion, and problem in the child's social life environment. And the next, attract students to ask questions, develop students' communication skills, and finally, train students to play an active role in real life. And the next, research design. The research design used was the one group pretest and protest design. This design is used by research involving only one class, namely the experimental class without any control class. And the next sample. The sample is part of the number and the characteristic process by population. Because the number studied was 10 students in the study, total sample is or total sampling. That is, the entire population is used. The sample in the study is that there are 10 students. And the next, research instrument. The instrument or research tool that will be carried out is in the process research, namely student learning outcome tests, and then student learning outcome tests are used to measure Indonesian language learning outcomes before and after receiving treatment. And the next, technique of data collecting. The first, data type. The data obtained comes from the source in the form of student learning outcomes. Tests this aim to determine the level of student mastery of the material learning. And the next, source data. The source of data in this study were level 3 students at the Ruteng Santo Paulus University. And the next, techniques of data analysis. The tests used for speaking skill are sound and performance tests, namely assigning students to practice speaking. This test is used to determine the ability level of class 2023 students in the English Education Study Program in mastering speaking skill. The final score is the total score of each aspect assessed. Things that are assessed include aspect of accuracy, aspect of fluency, and aspect of intonation, expression, and them. Okay, well, sir, I think that's all for my presentation today. So thank you so much.